truth.
Getting a long pour of that coffee right down my neck. Hey, I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. The government was here earlier. They gave me the date because they're never wrong. We're going to call it April 28th. It's a Tuesday, 2026. Guys, this month is over. We are done and over with. It is Gandhi. Not much of April left, so... But, by the way, guys, how boring would it be to know exactly when equinox is each year? And how boring would it be to always know exactly when your birthday is each year? And, you know, it's always on a Thursday. What? Yeah, what? Yeah, I mean, jeez. Who would want to just have a 28-day calendar that matched the moon cycle so that you would then be able to equate the moon and what day of the month it is, so you really wouldn't need the little phones or little calendars of things. You would know what the seasons are because you wouldn't be dysregulated by this odd calendar month thing. You wouldn't, I mean, the guys, you would actually know why it is raining today, or is not raining today, or is snowing today. I mean, I really think you guys have missed that all the things that we have latched ourselves onto are really the things that are just tearing us down and making us less than. A 28-day moon cycle, it matches with a 28-day calendar, and that's about it. And we don't need time. And I know that we all fluctuate our lives around the idea that time... You know, like 4 p.m. Centrals when I go live every Monday through Friday. Ooh, that's a whole thing, right? So, but that was for the trains. So let's not get all wrapped around the axle like we've lived on time. See, time was always local. Isn't that a physics thing? Time is local? Because in time, isn't that right? As how time is time is local. And maybe I'm mixing terms here. Hey, Courtney Allen, good to see you here on Time Teacher, she says. Well, what? But isn't when they say time is local, because if you are next to a larger planet or sun, time moves at a different rate. But also, if you are moving faster or slower, then you also time is different for you as well, right? So what I'm saying is the same, you leave, one person on Earth, they both have the same stopwatch. One leaves and comes. Anyway, there's a differential in like so many seconds. It's not like light year. It's not like years on end. But time is local, but they took that away from us, right? We didn't get to have that right here in the town square where I could hear in the distance, boom, I could know what time it was local, according to the sundial locally. See, sundials weren't set time central, or they were just local to you. Time was local. Did we not have this? Have we not had this conversation of like, is this something, guys? I may have stumbled onto something here. I didn't mean to in a weird way, but. Do you guys understand that? Like we used to not have, that's why sundials worked. It wasn't like, oh wait, this is off of, this one's calibrated off of Italia time. So I'm over here in Kansas time, Kansas. I don't know how to adjust for that. It didn't work that way because time was local, right? So the hours throughout the day were local to you. That was your time locally. That's why they like, I'll see you at high noon. Well, that was because that's where the town's crier would go out and ring the bell. It was noon. It was halfway between there and there. Half of the sun is gone today. Can you imagine how stupidly great and awesome that would be? Holy crap. Why don't we have that? Okay, I'm serious. I'm going to quit. I quit until somebody does that. I mean, seriously, if you knew that when you heard a bell or a tone and where you were local, where time was local, that when you heard a bell midday, a 12 chime, whatever you want me to do, whatever it is, cool. But I would hear that knowing that half of the sun is gone. Half of the day is gone. So that would be midday. I could build a life around that so much easier than this time shit and moving things around all the time and having to wonder like, oh, well, no, it's early. Yeah, the sun's going to be down at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, no, it's coming up at 3 in the morning now. We fixed it. What if we just had time, was local, and I get, yeah, oh, God, airplanes, we could figure that out. I'm sure we could figure it out. I'm sure we could. But what if that we had that? But that was a time that we all knew. Like things, I don't know. Why do I feel like that just gives me, is that like a weird thing, like an OCD thing, or am I autistic, or spectrum, whatever, what am I called now? Because I don't know, just to me, I think I would like to know about that half day thing. Like what time is it? Oh, it's quarter to the morning, right? It's quarter in the morning because a quarter of the morning's gone. And it's not quite, we're not quite midday. And it's mid-afternoon because it's halfway between midday and when the sun's down. Why in the world can we not do that? Can we not do that? Is that not cool? Is that too easy? Is it too easy? Is that what, because, how many things are really, now listen, I know that we all think that, our schedules are just, if you don't show up to court and, if you're not at school or if you don't get there on time, if you're tardy, it'll stay on your permanent record. Maybe we need to chill out on that, huh? And I'm not, why does that make me weird? God dang it, I got to quit talking about this. But anyway, I just think that somehow in a way that we could just like make it easier, but also make it to where we understand how our day actually works, like how much time in the day there really is. Not the fictitious part where we pump light into all of our existence. And guys, let me give you something too really quick. Even in the annals of time and what we talk about and the idea that we know, we know everything is written down, we understand all the history of man, blah, 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 blah. Whatever version you're going to go with, okay? The fact that we have light on this earth that we produce in some way, either for safety, warmth, or whatever, it is literally not even a blink of an eye in the universe's anythings. I'm not, and I'm trying to make you feel as small as you should, okay? But also understand what that means. Like the idea that we flood ourselves with all this artificial light and do all these things, and we're working through the nights and doing weird stuff, and being up at night's not the problem. It's how we're forced into this rhythm of things. Because there are other sleep cycles that are more of a 2 and 3 hour grouping where you go and you lay down for 2 and 3 hours after the sun has gone down. That's kind of like the first rest. And then you wake up and you do something for an hour or two. And then you go back to sleep for another 2 to 3 hours. And then you get up. And this is sometime in the 3 o'clock range. And then you go and you do something for an hour or two, and then you go back, and then you get up around the 6 or 7 o'clock range. So there's this little thing where you can block out time, but they're showing where that rhythm, if you're getting into that rhythm where you're able to get into the deep sleep and get back out of it, you're doing a lot more repair of the mind and the psyche. By forcing us into these longer periods of sleep is actually not as good for us. I mean, we want a lot of sleep, we get that. But there is science behind a short grouping that's purpose slept. Now, not somebody who stayed up all night and is insomniac or doesn't sleep well. That's not what I'm talking about. These are sleep patterns that you can build into yourself. And there's a whole thing. Don't take my word for it. I am not a doctor. I have no idea what it's all fictitious. I just made that up. But there is a whole thing about it. It's actually been researched, and there's a lot of evidence that shows that we really should be able to do group sleeping where we maybe go to sleep for that, like I said, either wake up 2 times in the night or wake up 1 time in the night and do something for an hour or 2 and then go back to sleep again. And they're showing that there's a whole thing about that. But because we pump so much light into us, we don't go to bed at first night, right? We don't go to when it's first getting dark. We just don't go to bed. So we stay up, and then that dysregulates through the blue light and things like that. So anyway, it looks like I'm not getting all of my messages through here, but let's get to a thing I want to do. Ooh, don't reset. Okay, good. Stay right here. Right, yeah. Okay, I watched this earlier, and I was so happy listening to this. Now, this is Lee Zeldin. I don't know if you guys know who Lee Zeldin is, but he is the EPA director, and he's the one who's taken all these regulations off of diesel trucks and lowering the cost of what goods are getting to us. And Lee Zeldin is actually doing an amazing job. Now, the thing is, guys, listen, let me give you a couple of things. This is not, I have researched this. I've been debated on this. We've looked it up and looked it up back again. The reason that they started costing, it's the reason that they were able to justify the cost of diesel being twice as much as gasoline, which gasoline is way more expensive to produce, but diesel's like leftover. It's like the junk, it's like peanut shells. It's kind of like the dust between the peanut shells, because you can make stuff out of peanut shells. But anyway, diesel's this process, right? Well, there was a study that went out, and it was not a peer-reviewed study. It was never verified. It was something that was published as if it was somebody's, like high school, I wrote a story about a thing I did, and it was all fictitious. That the sulfur in diesel exhaust, that you can see the black soot that actually falls to the earth because it doesn't go up into the upper atmosphere and block out the sun, that the sulfur from that which was the lubricant on the cylinders and on the different internal parts of a diesel, meaning that they would run forever and never have to be rebuilt. They would maintain power for 1 million, 2 million, 5 million miles. A lot of diesels were never turned off for 20 years. They never turned the truck off for 20 years. Because they were always using it, was always in use, and it was actually, they felt that it was harmful to turn diesels off, so they just let them run. Because it actually was very good for them to run slow, because it let that sulfur and all that, like graphite, build up around the cylinders. It was a super lubricant. And it made these things super efficient. These diesel motors were super efficient. Listen to me. The diesel motors were super efficient, and they had the sulfur in there, which was the lubricant. It was not a noxious gas. It wasn't something spoiling any robin eggs. It said in the study that a robin's egg was thinning in a region not defined, but they said that it was backed up by science that diesel exhaust was doing that. So they changed all the rules on diesel fuel. They put in depth collectors and these particulate catchers on diesel trucks. They did all kinds of crap to the motor. They changed the fuel. They pulled all the sulfur out of it because that's what was killing. This is all off of one article. One article. And that's what our government did to the diesel industry. And you wonder why cost of goods really went up is because they know they took the efficiency and then they started putting trucks in the shop over and over and over and over and over again, because now these diesel motors, 200,000 maybe 300,000 before they have to do a full rebuild. Do you know how much money that is? Do you know how much time that truck's off the road for doing that? You know how much money is spent on that motor when they could just put the sulfur back in, and that same motor that only gets 200 maybe 300,000 goes to 3 million or 5 million miles before a major rebuild. Oh yeah, you'll do an internal on it, or you'll do a water pump on it, or you'll do some little thises and that's, but you're not going to do a full tear down, re-sleeve the whole thing. But that's what they did to the diesel industry. But Lee Zeldin is out there, and he gets questioned and grilled, and I appreciate who he is. I have gained a new respect for him, just like our Treasury Secretary, guys. If you get a chance to listen to him, he seems like a little bit of a Herman Munster because he doesn't show a lot of expression at all. I mean, he is like, I don't know if it's Botox or just the computer doesn't run that part of his body. I don't know, but Bessonette. Anyway, great guy. But anyway, Treasury Secretary, anytime he's on, pay attention. He's very expressionless. And when he does show expression, you're like, whoa, what was that? Anyway, Lee Zeldin is up there. He's up there with that crazy lady that was talking about dairy and all that stuff last week. Let's listen to this. This is about what the government can and cannot do. This is a great lesson here. All right, listen in. Watch again. Come on. Uh-oh. What are we doing? No sound? Why do we got no sound? Come on. Why do we got no sound? Oh, because I turned it off.
That duty to protect Americans.
All right, hold on.
When climate change is flooding our streets,
it's
poisoning our air,
yeah,
driving up health care and disaster costs.
Oh, yeah.
How can the EPA justify abandoning that duty to protect Americans to appease polluters under the false flag of economic growth?
Following the law, Section 202 of the Clean Air Act, where does it say anything about fighting global climate change?
Bingo.
Loper Bright.
Bingo.
Supreme Court case. You familiar with it?
Oh, my gosh.
No, I maybe others are not, but let me ask
But
you.
that's really important. As a member of Congress, Loper Bright says that we as an agency don't have the authority to get creative if Section 202 of the Clean Air Act
No, but you don't have, excuse me, you do not have the right to
was
say
actually
climate
answering your
change
questions.
does not exist, that it's a hoax, and that's where this administration
I
is
understand
coming
you're
from.
upset that you don't know what Loper Bright is. Do you know what the major policies doctrine is?
I'm upset because
You know what the major policies doctrine is?
You know what, let me just
You're a
say
member
this
of
to you.
Congress. You should know.
Well, you have moved from someone who defended the environment to all of a sudden
Being very
making
defensive
a-
about not knowing the two biggest landmark Supreme Court cases of the last year
you are
with
very,
regards to your
You are
question.
very defensive about changing your policy and your positions with regard to the environment.
He's
Now,
doing
you
the
just
law.
tell
Do you want me to tell you what the two biggest
No,
Supreme
I
Court
want you to
cases
tell
are of the
me.
last few years?
This is what I want you
Michigan
to tell
versus
me.
EPA,
Whoa.
West Virginia versus EPA.
You know, you're here because you need money from us. So halt for the second and wait for the questions and answer the question.
I
Oh,
answered your
bend the
question,
knee. No,
you
and you
didn't.
didn't like my answer because
did
you
not
don't know what
answer the
Loper Bright is,
question.
because you don't know what the major policies doctrine is,
Chairman,
because
this
you're
is-
asking me,
answer questions.
you're asking me about Section 202 of the Clean Air Act, and you don't read it. You don't know what it says.
Get him.
Listen, and what you want to do
there she
is
goes.
to deny. You want
No,
to
I actually read the law. I do my homework.
really.
You're
Oh,
just somebody
really?
who likes to have the microphone on. You know what I have to do? I read the law.
No,
I
Mr.
read the
Chairman,
Supreme
I don't have
Court
to listen
cases.
to this, and I would say
No,
this to
what you should do
that
for your
his-
constituents is actually
his-
read statute.
His budget is at real risk.
Read
Let
your
me tell
Supreme
you,
Court.
Oh,
this
it's
is the
at real risk?
Appropriations Committee.
Oh,
you come here.
You care
and
about
you tell
science? Now
us-
you're threatening to defund it?
Oh my
There you
God! No,
go.
you don't fund
Because
science.
you don't know what Loper
You
Bright
are
is.
climate
Because you don't know what the
deniers.
major policies
You are
doctrine is. Your
climate
message
deniers.
to
Yeah.
our folks at the EPA is that you want to
I don't
defund
have
us.
to listen to this BS.
The BS.
BS.
You think I made up these cases?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have made up a whole
I made
lot of
I made
BS.
up Loper Bright. I made up West Virginia versus EPA. I made up Michigan versus EPA.
Oh, my goodness.
What are you doing? Why
Wait,
are you helping
whoa.
polluters?
Whoa. Oh, okay. That was it. So, I don't know how you guys felt about all that, but I thought that was hilarious. So, to me, I mean, I am not, like I said, I never really, followed Lee Zeldin or anything like that. But since this little exchange here, it was actually just, I think it was brilliant. He kept it fact-based. He did not get into her, get into the blood and mud of it, right? So he's like, hey, by the way, one thing we're not talking about, too, is the what is it? What's that? Oh, my gosh. It's the Supreme Court case that was just overturned, and it was because of the fact that Congress was giving the authority to agencies, and this was all overturned. But basically what Lee Zeldin was saying, listen, we have to follow the law, and you guys write the law. If you don't like the way it's written, then you change the law and how it's written, because the problem is we got to follow the law. But the problem is also is none of the bill, guys, listen, this is a thing for us, and I don't know why we're not talking about this more in a way of like how our lives are ran. But in reality, like all the laws since 1972 or 3, that since then, the Congress has not put a penalty phase or a descriptor on the illegality of something. And so the problem is any laws that really have been put in the books for 50 some year, 50 or somewhere around 50 years, let's say 50 plus years, they're all illegitimate because of the Supreme Court case that was just laid out at the beginning of last year. And I was like, it was during Biden was still there. So my point is that there's a lot of things like this lady over here. She's just doing things that she wants to because it's what she wants. She just said, I'll cut your funding. Like, you can't say that, lady. You don't get to. You don't, and no matter how mad you are, you just don't get to do that. That's threatening him. He's a member of the cabinet, and he has a job. By the way, no matter how political you think those appointments are, it is still an executable job that is required, that he does certain things to make sure things are moving. Whether they like it or not, it may seem political, but it is still a job. That's why everybody's mad at Pam Bondi or Naomi or whoever they want to be mad at today because they had a job to do. But Lee, guys, I'm telling you right now, you want to lower the cost of living? I will tell you right now, we were in a really, really sweet spot back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I'm not saying it because we started putting EPA stuff on cars. EPA things were put on cars so they knew how they could manage how many miles you would go. And if you bought this car and you had it for a year, you would spend $3,000 per year on gasoline. And the manufacturers knew that that car was being put into the system at $3,000 worth of gasoline per year. And then they could average out what they knew the consumer was going to need and how much exploration they needed to do, how many cars are being sold, and how many miles they were limited to because of all the EPA crap. Cars get 2 and 3 times the mileage when you take the EPA crap off of them. Yes, when I took all the EPA stuff off of my 250, I was getting 30, 33, 36 miles per gallon in my diesel truck with big mud tires on it. But if Lee's out there doing his job like he should, then we should have more success stories like that, and it's great that he's out there doing that. But I really wish that we actually had more guys that seemed like that. But what a lesson in debate. Way to come with your gloves on, being ready. So anyway, let's get to a couple things. Now, I did name today's, hey, Dave Glovin, good to see you, man. I did name today's episode theater, because I will tell you right now, I believe that there's a lot of what we are, and I'm going back. You can go back through Q, you can go back through your memory, you can just pay attention. I don't care what reason, but the theater of things. This is theater. And when I watched Trump today and how we had the jackal come over from England to sit there and try to rub 2 sticks together to create some heat between England and America, talking about our undying, unwavering commitment to each other, that we're the only 2 in all the world and we love each other. Oh, no. King Charles, he said that we're the only 2 out there. Just me and you, sweetheart. Just us 2 right here. It's only me and you. It's like a paradise by the dashboard lights with this guy. Come on, just a little bit closer. Come on, America. Don't go giving up on England. I'm just the king. I'm here with my horrific-looking girlfriend I wanted more than Princess Di because I'm into dudes. I don't know. I don't know, dude. You have got, guys, I get you. Everybody's got a type. But seriously, I mean, I'm looking at what he's doing now and what he had then. And even when you were putting those two next to each other back then, when she didn't have the road miles on her. I mean, gee, many Christmas, Charlie, what are you talking about, buddy? I mean, the body's got to be way better. What was Weirdo doing that Princess Di wasn't doing? Because I'm telling you, dude, she could do a lot of dumb things. I'm just saying. She's good looking, had great body, seemed pretty nice. I don't know, Charlie. You got a thing there, buddy, but don't come over here telling me how America needs to hold your hand because we have a go way back. Remember 250 years ago when we were friends? What? No, 250 years ago we weren't friends. No. You remember? You guys were pieces of crap. And it took us almost 100 years to get ourselves actually going in the right direction as a country. And then the first thing we figured out is that we've been doing the wrong thing to a bunch of people in our country. But then some people said, hey, we have individual state rights. And some people said, no, you don't. If you don't do as we say in the federalist model, not the Republican model, but anyway, we'll come down and blow you up with your brothers and sisters on the front line. And so we had the Civil War. Call it what it was. Individual state rights. And by the way, the stars and bars is not the Confederate flag. If you look it up, it's not that whatsoever. So the legacies of things that we believe that are not even real. People rewrite history all the time, and we accept it as natural. Hey, what's this? Courtney Allen says, liberals, applaud King Charles. Also, no kings. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, Courtney. Let's not get started on the no kings thing. What the hypocrisy we see, right? And they just show it. It's full display all the time. Oh, we don't believe in kings around here. We're way better than all that. Are you? Hey, Maggie O'Leary, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Luther Bradley's here. What? All right, so now your favorite FBI director, James Comey, the guy who couldn't find Hillary Clinton's crimes with two hands, said that, was it? This time it's because of the Instagram post. So now we're going back around. We're going to do Instagram post felonies. So somehow, I don't know what this one's getting a little bit stretchy for me, guys. But again, it's lawfare. That's right. And that's these are kind of really things, but at the same time, they're kind of poking at things. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I don't like it. And an arrest warrant was issued for former FBI Director James Comey after he was indicted by a grand jury in the Eastern District of Northern Carolina related to his Trump assassination post on Instagram. Comey is facing 20 years in prison. U.S. Marshals were asked to provide Comey with an indictment, and they issued an arrest warrant. So that's cool. James Comey was indicted on 2 felonies. Count 1, knowing and willfully making a threat to take the life of or to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. Stop saying you're going to kill him, guys. Seriously, just stop. Guys, listen, I don't want any of them dead because we don't need extra holidays. We don't need the whole martyrism. Guys, let's just let it go. It needs to stop. If you have to kill somebody to make a point, you lost the argument. Just saying, dude, it really doesn't make you better. Knowingly and willfully did transmit in interstate and foreign commerce a communication that contained a threat to kill the president. So, yeah, you put it out on Instagram. Oh, Jamie. Oh, Jamie Comey. So last May, James Comey called for President Trump to be killed in a cryptic Instagram post with that was the 8647, and I do appreciate the humor. I do. I get it, guys. Listen, listen. If we can't see that, I get what he was doing, but also, wow, you're the FBI director, dude. Really. I mean, his maturity fell out somewhere in that first 2016 or 27, whatever it was, and all the stuff that he was saying and doing, it was just a sad. It was sad to watch him just melt down, and then he just never got better. He started with the lie and led with the lie. And here's the thing. I believe Trump left him in there because he wanted to expose who he really was, to keep him in the light and let him go out there and torch himself. And that's what he's done here. And by the way, a lot of this is not like the stuff they keep coming up with on him. These are his handwritten notes. A lot of this stuff is like he's got handwritten notes in his personal file in the FBI. Like some really crazy stuff. Like, oh my gosh. So I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe they think they're cool. Courtney Allen says no kings at World War 11. Yeah. Elon Omar. Now, guys, okay, do this for me real quick. Let's just listen. Okay. I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm not trying to, but the Somalian country has a problem with inbreeding. And I'm not making that up. The reason that you're seeing like the teeth pointing thing and you're seeing the really bad hair and that they elongate, a lot of that is because these are all signs of inbreeding. And I don't know what has happened or why, but the other thing is that since they've been in Minnesota, I guess it's like really bad. Like they are not having sex outside of that little circle of human beings. And I think the gene pool is getting like a puddle in the parking lot. It's getting pretty thin. So guys, I'm just telling you, there's some stuff there that you look into it. I could be the bad guy. I could be making it up. I don't know. I just read things online and I just make it up as I go along. Who knows? I could have just been saying that just to be mean. I mean, you could look it up and say, hey, Jim, you were so wrong about that. They're not doing that at all. And I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. And I'll do errors and omissions and a correction on that. So you help me out there. James Comey deleted the Instagram post and threw his wife under the bus during the appearance on a left-wing media outlet. What a man. I mean, I know we all got those moments, buddy, and I know we've all kind of let, shift the blame here with what we can, but really, bro. I forgot he did all this. Anyway, so yeah, it's a whole thing. So he's here's the thing, maybe it's nothing, but he has to fire up the lawyer. He's got to I got to get the lawyers, I got to get the bonding and all that, right? So bonding at the federal level, it's probably, I don't know, depending on what the bond would be, it could be, well, I don't know. Do they always do a dollar bond, or is it, I don't know if federal does more ORs, my own recognizance, or if they actually do, like their bonds are bigger. It seems like their bonds would be bigger because they're kind of, when you're in there, it's kind of a mess, right? So again, that's a whole thing. But remember, Comey got the book deal. Remember, he got that $12 million. So he's all right. He's all right. He sold himself, got that 20 pieces of silver thing going, right? Let's see here. Remember the missing GOP member I talked about last week? He said they couldn't find him. Well, the guy is Representative Keene Jr. Last cast a vote in the House on March 5th, and nobody has seen or heard from him. Since then, Keene was missing for 50 roll call votes at a critical time when House Republicans are operating on a barely enough of a margin to advance key legislation. So, yeah, we got some vote problems there. New Jersey Rep. Jeff Van Drew and Chris Smith said they had not heard from him despite repeated attempts to reach out. House representatives from New York who had collaborated with Keene on bills expressed similar confusion. The disappearance sparked widespread concern. On Monday, Keene finally broke his silence with a statement posted on his Campaign X account. In it, he confirmed that he has been dealing with a personal medical issue, but provided no further details on his condition or specific timeline to return. Wow. It says here, I want to thank my constituents and colleagues for their patience as I address a personal medical issue. My doctor continues to assure me that my recovery will be complete and that I will be back on the job I love very soon. Sounds like rehab. So I take my responsibility serious, and I have a strong record of showing up and delivering, which makes my absence all the more difficult. Okay. Well, either that or he's got to do some rehab or some family counseling because he's, I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how that comes out. But that sounds like that's going on there. That's usually kind of the case. And hey, that's what he's got to do to get there. So get him there. So, hey, how you doing, buddy? Jim, hey, Luther, I'm doing good, bud. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Courtney Allen. Let's see. Here we go. Hey, Carrie Heisman. What's that? Oh, Somalia has low IQs also. Well, yeah. Light bulb heads, LOL. Definitely inbreeding, says Maggie O'Leary. See? I'm not a bad person. It's crazy, man. Oh, the world we live in here. I do. As I look around at the condition of things, and I'm looking around, and I think I'm catching the script more. I think I'm catching the edges of their start and stops, and I'm catching the glitches and the costume changes and all that. I'm seeing more of that. And I think a lot of us are seeing. I think the internet is really, I guess, when they said that you could no longer control the people after 2012 was when smartphones with the big screens, right? The big screen smartphones, that when they started going to, remember the iPhone came out and all those ones started having the big internet with color screens on it. Well, that's what that's about. So you got this whole thing where now that we communicate, well, everybody's got a phone, right? You're all peeved that, oh, everybody's got a phone out. But here's the other thing. A lot of stuff gets picked up on them phones, man. Right? So not as much as they're tracking us, we're tracking them, which makes it really bad for them because now, even though they don't always get it but we just get them on the internet, like on the other stuff. The stuff they try to publish, like, that's bull. His arm's missing. He's got 29 fingers on one hand. You see what I'm saying? So there's been a lot of this that has, like, remember, guys, when I did Joe Biden's inauguration, I sat there on live on this show on Joe Biden's inauguration, and I showed going forwards and backwards on the whitehouse.gov video where people appeared and disappeared and how the clouds appeared and disappeared, because it was cloudy, sunny, cloudy, sunny, cloudy, sunny. Well, it didn't work that way. That was a full overcast day. So the thing is it was shot at two different times. It was spliced together, and then they still had them up there. And I don't know what they were doing up there because the problem was they didn't have the media. The media was down the road a half a mile. So I don't know, guys. We can sit here and wring our hands over a lot of stuff, but we also know that we've got a certain responsibility to act on our own and be the right people, right, and do our thing. So we got to start doing that. We got to start getting up and doing more civically. Get involved, figure it out. Find a community, find friends, find a way to find more of a family to hang out with, be more together. Because when we amplify our energy together, we become more, right? When two or more are together, I am with you. I mean, this is the idea that there's so many things that if you just use basic biblical principles, like when two or more, I am there with you, the idea of that alone does get proved through physics that your energy is amplified when you sit within 3 feet of another person. And that's what that's all about. That's what sharing energy is. And then when your energy combines, you become greater. Being absent from each other just makes you weak, makes you less than. Anyway, what do I know? Fake inauguration, that's for sure. Central Casting, says Maggie. Well, there you go. Fox News Media caught on hidden camera bragging that he spent $4,000 at a strip club on the corporate card. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, seriously, guys, I didn't know we were still doing corporate cards and strip clubs, but cool that. Who cares? If the corporate wants to pay for that, then that's what they want to pay for. What are we mad about? Are that because they're a Christian organization? Because they don't hold up to our standards? It's not that big of a deal. By the way, Tim Walz has come out to put out a statement that he supports the effort between state and federal agencies working together to take down the Quality Leering Center. And he was thanking the federal and working that they were able to work with local agencies to take down. It wasn't even local at all. It was all federal. Like, what are you doing, dude? Anyway, so, Minnesota Timmy boy, that guy just can't stop backing right into it, man. He just falls backwards right into it. It says, Jim, Josh Reed says, I'll do a strip club with you. Oh, man, it has been so long. I don't even know what the rules are, Josh. I don't know what the rules would be. What do you do? It's probably, you know what? I don't even know. How much is it to get in nowadays? Because I don't know. It was usually like, I don't know how much it was. God, it's been. Man, I missed my 40s. Anyway, so no, I don't know when. I don't even know. So, yeah, I don't even know what the rules are in those places. And I know there's a different jurisdictions have different things, and it's crazy out there. Anyway, let's see. Lindale must win the election for governor. Oh, Maggie O'Leary, you are absolutely correct. But I do believe, by the way, the state Supreme Court will not step in to the injunction that has been placed by a judge in the redistricting in Virginia. So that whole redistricting thing, all the money they put in there, the $70 million they put into that, it's basically giving them a bust. They're gonna be out. So it's like that whole thing, but here's the thing. Texas went all the way to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court said, yes, your redistricting is actually constitutional according to your state law and your constitution. You guys are good. High five, go do your thing. The Virginia State Supreme Court said, no, they will not stop the injunction that was placed by a judge. So the problem is that now the only other thing is that they're going to try to bounce above the Virginia, because here's the thing, is that because they said, no, we're not stepping in, I think they may be able to go to the Supreme Court, but then again, it's like, okay, well, you want the Supreme Court to rule on this? Because you guys really, I don't know. Like, it was just such an egregious, it was so much. And I was telling you how it looked like a scorpion and all that. Anyway, good stuff on there. So, again, there's a lot of that out there. Cash Patel, they're fighting over it. 22 Minnesota child care centers were raided this morning, so there was a whole thing going on there with that. I do appreciate that the Virginia Supreme Court is denying the request to pause that block, and I just think it's just there are glimpses where we get to see where people are just going to work it out, right? We're going to have a chance to do this right and not be forced into one way or the other. So I appreciate that I see those things happening. Again, it's not always about whether we always win, but at least let's make sure that it was heard, right? Let's try our best. Let's do, but to have to just be forced, that's where people do get upset. Judge Barrett and the viciously corrupt Colorado courts continue to deny justice and persecute Tina Peters. So, yeah, Tina Peters is not getting her day in court. And, guys, this is that play where when we talk about how a judge or a warden of a prison has these ultimate powers that really go very unchecked. Like, there's really no one above these district courts or these, they really kind of do whatever they want. And once they're out of hey, the judge's like, oh, I signed it, get away. Because the problem is this is this whole professional courtesy. Judges don't undo judges' work. They take care of each other. That's a real thing, guys. If you want to talk about a cool kids club effect, that's why you don't get justice within the court systems that you really are trying to get. It won't happen. Like, if I try to go after my stuff, one judge is not going to go after another judge. It doesn't work that way. Ever. Maybe once in a while. Got some deep pockets and it gets public. Hell, my story's been public and it ain't made a damn bit of difference. So the problem is, guys, is this is some stuff here. Okay, let's see what we got. We've got any updates here on just when we thought we've seen the pinnacle of evil expressed by those hijacked positions of power in Colorado. A new level has emerged. On April 27th, ruling by Judge Matthew Barrett, he doubled down on his insistence that his conduct during the trial of Tina Peters was fair and balanced. This ruling names him to once again be her judge. So this ruling says he's going to be her judge. Okay, so the very guy who okay, oh my God, this is proving my point. This is proving my point what I just said here. Okay, this ruling names him once again to be her judge of record, this time for her resentencing in accordance with the recent ruling from the Colorado Court of Appeals. Okay, this is exactly what I just said. The idea that he gets to do the resentencing, not taking it away, and like, hey, dude, you kind of screwed it up the first time. Let's just get out of there, dude. You should go over there, be you, and then we'll just do this thing over here. No big deal, right? We're gonna fix it. I don't know, guys. It is unbelievable this is happening. This is the same judge that allowed a prosecution witness to lie on the witness stand when confronted about his complicity in making his ID badge available to another individual. See, this is where, again, this whole thing, like this whole trial, guys, when they really want you, the facts get real loose and wild. And then they'll say, oh, well, it's a jury of your peers. Guys, I don't know if you've ever been in a court and listened to how it goes down in there, but there are times you'd be like, oh, my gosh. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, they did it. Oh, yeah. And then but then you listen, and if you actually take the time to listen to the other side after you've built this, and then you listen, you're like, wait, hold on. What? Hold on. That's not what he's. But the problem is a lot of people don't track it that way. It's not a story that's kind of woven together and showing where everything, how the opposite, oh, this is how it was going. Oh, I don't think so. Oh, I think this, I think that. And kind of interjecting as they build the story and the timeline. It's told in two different times and in two different directions with two different sets of facts, with two different sets of experts. And that's where it's like, if you're just kind of a simple person, and they're like, I want $12 a day to be a juryman person thingy. I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't see a lot of doctors hanging out in the jury pools. But my point is, guys, is that the court systems can really, really tear you apart, and it's unfortunate that, Tina Peters, I got to see her like I don't know, it's like a month before she went in, and she was she was not feeling good about the whole thing, but she was super hopeful, and I wanted it's like I did everything I could. I talked about it. I supported the show. I even did a telethon of sorts for her, where I was on air all day, and we talked about it and trying to support and things. So guys, there's a lot of that stuff that is going on with her. It's like, that's real. I mean, I know her. She's a personal friend. I mean, I got text messages that it's like, I don't know what else I could do for you. I didn't have any money to be able to throw more lawyers at it or whatever. And she was being hijacked. We all knew it. And the sad part of it is that they not only, they could have gotten the conviction and then just did like, oh, hey, 3 years probation, pee in a jar, don't leave the state without asking, that kind of thing. But this whole thing of this huge conviction and then the time and all that stuff, and then the things that they did to her life and the things they did to her personally and her personal effects, really a tragedy. So anyway, guys, let's get on from that. But wow, it is such a shame to see that this continues on at this level. What we got else? We got here. Oh, where are we at? 51. Okay, remember, I'm on a time limit. Oh, by the way, I watched the arrival of the king, and I guess she's the guys. Listen, I really have a hard time calling Dad's new wife Mom. Is that how you guys? I mean, is that how you guys feel about trying to call her Queen? I don't know. I guess because I had the other queen in my memory is always that little old lady with the puffy hair and she walked. I thought she was old when I was young. Like, I thought she was old. I'm like, oh my God, it's like, oh, they're gonna get one of them new ones. Like, oh, Princess Di's coming along. She'll be queen here in a minute. And then they got divorced. I didn't. Anyway, that whole thing. But yeah. So, but did you see that where the Queen of England, that lady that does the cuppy hand wave thing? She's carrying around a clutch and an umbrella. Now she's on the Rose Garden, the White House lawn there, and I mean, president doesn't have to hold his own umbrella. And I'm sure that they got a couple people laying around with like 29 extra umbrellas just in case 27 of them don't work. But she brought an umbrella, like a clear plastic umbrella, white and clear and black, and then and she had her purse. And I'm like, what do you need your purse for, ma'am? You're a dick. Like, do you have credit cards, ma'am? Do you have are you paying down your Visa? Are you on one of those repayment plans where you're trying to get your credit back? Anyway, it just seemed weird to me. And by the way, I'm not going to call her mom. Dad can marry whoever he wants, but I'm not calling her. I don't know. She's not my mom. It's all very theater. It's all very just like, oh, hi, I'm the King of England. And it looked like you got some like rash on your mouth after lunch, dude. You got to quit wiping so hard. You'll give yourself an infection. Anyway, so that's kind of my it. The whole idea that the king was here and his mom, stepmom, whatever her name is, she looked like a key lime pie with the whip on her helmet. What are those? Those helmets, like a space. I don't know. If she gets HBO on it, I'd be impressed. But she looked like a bag of Doritos, and our girl, Trump's wife, and she was looking like a Ferrari, like a white painted Ferrari going about 120. She just, the hat, I was like, meh. And then, oh, by the way, don't put Trump and the King of England next to each other like this. Trump's suit fits. I mean, it's a little bit, he needs to kind of get it in the shoulders a little bit, but his fits. The King of England looked like he pulled his out of a garbage bag this morning. He's like, oh, I gotta go see the president, man. Oh, hey, does this one look good? And she's like, yeah, that looks great, you dummy. Like, the pockets were kind of wrinkled. He just did. I'm like, what are we doing, England? This is your guy that you're going to tell us that we're all bed buddies now and we love each other forever? Like, go pound sand, bro. Anyway, I know they do great work for us and we do great work for them, and I know we shouldn't forget them, but they didn't really show up either. Did you guys? EU. That's what we need to start calling it. EU. All right, guys, that's going to be about it for me. It's been great seeing everybody out there. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less they do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We'll win. I promise I can't keep, guys. You guys have always been the answer. Remember, the Constitution limits the government, but never limits you. And by the way, I do believe that whole thing of them coming over here is kind of like that last little, like, hang on to what we were. We love you. I know we're divorced, but we can still have Thanksgiving together. All right, come on by. What do you think? Oh, yeah, you want to do like we're still cool? Oh, yeah. You're not coming for Thanksgiving. Anyway, enjoy the day out there, guys. A lot of cool stuff going on. The world is going in a lot different place than it used to be. I think it's going great. I do believe it's going great. I like the way it's going, so maybe my version of crazy is coming true, and that's not your version of crazy. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. All right, guys. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.